into positions of hopelessness and helplessness. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is
Talking like this because it's early in the morning and everyone has crusty voice. Hello, welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to Goddamn America. I'm Jake Flores. Alex Patak is here.
What's up?
Yeah. Anders Lee is here.
Anders Lee.
Oh, sleepy Anders Lee. I like it. It's noon 30 in New York. I don't know why we're all like this. And we are joined this week by Arthur and Donovan from Radio Free Tote Bag. Welcome to the show, y'all.
What's going on?
Not much.
What's happening? I'm bringing some energy this morning.
Where they're calling from, it's 6:30 a.m., I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we are in Slovenia.
Okay.
I'm just floating in the Pacific somewhere. The waves have really been easing me to sleep, and now I can't do that. Now I got to talk.
Radio Free Tote Bag records from the Metal Gear Solid floating island.
Yeah.
Yeah. From
Fucking Mother
Sealand.
Base, or what is it called?
Have you ever heard about Sealand? This is like a fun Wikipedia wormhole to go down if you're ever bored. It's like the
I've heard of sea, and I've heard of land, but sea land?
There's
Isn't
like
that libertarian like floating platform where they do pirate radio from? And
yeah, it's like it's technically the world's smallest country. Like the guy somehow was able to get the paperwork through, and it's like kind of a country. It's like Luxembourg and then Sealand or something. It's just
Nice.
a pallet in the middle of the ocean that they have, libertarian hangouts on and stuff. The guy like moved.
Oh, no.
He like tried to move his family out there, I think. I don't know. There's like a whole story about it.
So we know where the next Epstein Island is, and it's a
Right.
whole country, you're saying.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a Canadian podcast, and there's like someone in the like a character person that they're talking about whose last name I think was Seward, but the host of the podcast is Canadian, and she keeps calling him C-word. So he keeps saying, and then John Seward, such and such.
Yeah.
this wet ass C word.
This is in the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever they announce him on a podcast in England, they just say C word.
Yeah. It just means you're your friend there.
I am sleepy brained. I almost walked into that one. That was no good.
Say it. Who cares? Hello. Especially thank you, Arthur, for joining us. Didn't realize it was your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thrilled to be here on my 32nd rotation around this Earth.
Nice. Cool.
Nice even number.
Do you have anything special planned for the day?
I'm gonna go to Dairy Queen. I'm gonna pick up an ice cream cake, and I'm gonna eat some Asian Paradise up for the street. I'm gonna get some takeout.
That's very cool.
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
man.
Powerful.
Oh,
They got this.
wish I
coconut
was
shrimp.
there.
Come on down. It's what is like? Let's see. We have dinner around 7. You can get down here.
Okay,
All right.
I'll be
As
there.
As we were discussing before the show, Dairy Queen will write whatever you want on the cake. And I was
Yeah.
reflecting on some of the, less appropriate ones I would do in high school, and I'm realizing today Zoomers are probably doing like good stuff, like
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. Like their minds wouldn't even go to like happy abortion or some of the shit me and my friends would do in 2007.
Dairy Queen has the same policy towards writing on cakes that Noam Chomsky has towards answering emails.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, you could write out a transcript of your email exchanges with Noam Chomsky on a Dairy Queen cake. That's doable.
Write it all.
I don't
It's
know.
gonna take all day.
I don't know if I buy the Zoomers are all great. Zoomers are doing a lot of things this week. The kid who shot a bunch of people is a Zoomer, and he sucks.
The bad
Yeah.
boy.
He's not.
He's
in
an
there.
honorary. I consider him an honorary
boy.
boomer.
Yeah.
No. Here's how it works. Zoomers come in two dipoles, okay? You either have the radiant good Zoomer, who is extra woke, radicalized to carry on the communist flag, or the darkness Zoomer. And there are equally as many of them, and we just choose to ignore them until it's too late.
Right. They're like Yu-Gi-Ohs.
How crazy is this?
They're like Yu-Gi-Ohs.
Isn't there a
How
dark
crazy is-
Yu-Gi-Oh? I make
We're on
that
the
up?
era. We're on the era of Zoomers and Zoom calls. It's an interesting time. This
Yes.
2020.
It's true.
Yes, Anders.
Yes. Definitely hasn't occurred to me yet. These words
I
are
feel
the
like
same.
the Zoomers, the bad Zoomers who are firing guns, are less visible than like the good ones, because the good ones are on like TikTok and shit, right?
Yeah.
And they're like talking
Well, but
about
he-
positive things. They've got awareness of social issues, but then
But the bad ones are also on TikTok, though.
Are
Didn't you see any of the viral TikToks? It's just like a guy waving goodbye at immigrants or whatever.
Wait.
There is
oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
there is a kid who's like he's like talking about going to school with his Trump hat and This Is America is playing, and people are being mean to him because he's a MAGA hat.
That was
That's
the
what that
point.
song-
That's what Childish Gambino was trying to get across.
This is America. People are mean to my hat.
Make America America again.
Yeah.
Make it more America.
Are there right wing like TikTok kids that are just like they're in like a toy car and they're yelling at the phone and it's with the sunglasses and shit?
The little push car with like the yellow dome
Yeah.
like roof. Yeah.
That's so sad.
There aren't enough TikToks to prayers. That's one of my complaints.
Yeah. I don't think the kids are going to save us. I'm a little worried they're going to kill us now. This kid also is on Facebook, which is a bad sign. I went down a little wormhole and found some of his like malicious social media stuff. They have like a Facebook group where like the first thing that you see is there's just a picture of a guy with his head looks like an egg. He's like a perfectly spherical head, and he's like, we're here, you know, and it's them setting up to go guard, you know, fucking field of grass or whatever the fuck their deal was the other night. And then like shortly after that, I mean, you obviously know what happened with the kid where he's like, you know, I'm going to protect this building. Like there's like people took video of him and he's like walking around open carrying illegally. And he's like, I'm here to protect, you know, the building. It's my job. He keeps saying it's his job. But then in the Facebook group later on when they're communicating, there's a bunch of them coordinating to protect like this thing called the Cheese Castle, which I thought was like a joke, but it's fucking Wisconsin.
This is Wisconsin, yeah.
So it's like
The
this
Cheese Castle is actually the state capital.
The Capitol building.
Yeah. Oh, I looked it up. It looks, you know, fun. It's a castle on the side of like an interstate that's just
There's a
full of-
very lighthearted moat.
Cheese Castle's what they used to call Brett Favre's house after 10 p.m.
nice.
Hello, Brett. You are not welcome on the show.
He's like a rapist, right?
I think
I
so.
don't know the way he wears some jeans.
He
My
sent
God.
some unsolicited pics, let's just say.
Oh, I see.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, another fun thing I noticed about your screenshot of this militia group, Jake, is the top comment support is from a guy named Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Like one F.
Yeah, like Jeff Bezos, but you know, for being dumb as shit.
I'll make
Yeah, I
the
forget that sometimes that's the one, you know, like the two fists shaking each other's hands or whatever. That does apply to leftists and conservatives with hating Jeff Bezos. Like I forget sometimes that they also loathe him
why do they hate him?
Why do they loathe him?
because he owns the Washington Post and they changed their logo to "Democracy Dies in Darkness."
He's a socialist. They don't fuck with that.
It's because he has too much hair. Those eyebrows have got to go.
He is just like a universally unlikable figure too. It's
True.
like you don't have to know anything about him to look at this like perfectly smooth man who's the most powerful person
look
in the
at
world.
him. And he's a fucking tiny boy too, with this little bald. You could pat him on the head very easily, And that arouses contempt in a lot of people's hearts.
That's true.
Yeah, where's your hat, man?
You gotta hate your boss, and he is slowly becoming the world's boss. So
Right.
everyone hates their boss.
I think God should be the world's boss.
Bezos is working on that. There's an app.
I think the kid with the round face should be the world's boss. I'm gonna put his like picture up as the show image or whatever, so you can see what I'm talking about. But this Chud guy is like, he looks like in like old Victorian cartoons when like the moon has a face. Like he's got a very angular nose.
There's a like retro futuristic spacecraft sticking out of the front of him.
Yeah, he's gonna fly us away.
We must secure a future for our thick, full cheeks.
The other thing it looks like is like there's a Zelda game where there's like a weird little bird that has a human face that talks.
Oh,
to you.
what the fuck is his name?
God, I know what you're talking.
Yeah, what is it? Right, he's got like a really uncanny, weird nose. It was in the one where
Is
you
it
turn
Tinkle?
into. That might be. It's in the one where you turn into a wolf.
Tingle's the green floating dude.
Right.
He looks like him too. He's got a red little nose, pointy head.
Yeah.
You think about Twilight Princess?
There you go. That's the one. I don't remember what the bird's name is though. It's very scary.
I got a funny
Good.
anecdote about Twilight Princess. I sold my copy of Twilight Princess so I could buy Daft Punk Alive 2007
Fair.
back when I was broke and what would that been 13 years ago?
Yeah.
Extremely pure memory coming out on the podcast.
That
Go ahead.
is.
You're telling
I'm
me
feeling sentimental.
there was a video game based on the Twilight series?
Anders, there's no way you're going to be able to keep up with this one, man. You solitaire
It's gonna
playing
loop back
I'm
motherfucker.
around.
a solitaire
2
guy. I'm
minutes.
sorry.
So Robert Pattinson has to collect the 3 triangles to save the world, all while he's sparkling. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Bella's
wolves.
Zelda. There are wolves.
There are wolves of both.
Boom.
It's like the same thing. You were right. I don't know why we
Yeah.
give you such a hard time about it.
Well, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, got Radio Free Tote Bag dudes. Why don't you
What's
tell my
that?
listeners about your show? Because I remember distinctly kind of going, I like this. These guys are really fucking funny. I did your show a while back, and I thought, this is a good thing. We should do more of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was high energy when you came on. Too. I'm showing my acting range right here.
I got trashed that night, but I had a good time. That was
Same.
That was when quarantine was like it might never end. We thought, so I was
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to speak on it, Donovan? You want to take the lead on this?
Yeah, sure. So we do dating and relationship advice. We're 2 guys doing it, except for we're not shitty pickup artist dudes. And I like to think we're pretty cool between the 2 of us.
Yeah.
So we've got like a question box people can send questions into, like, why am I into balloon popping? Why does that turn me on? And then we give sincere advice, but at the same time, we also crack like, poop and fart jokes and all the standard stuff. And we're like 117 episodes in now, which actually means we both have a therapist license at this point.
Yeah.
So you can trust our advice on top of that.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
President Trump signed an order that extended health insurance to telehealth visits, and so now we can bill your insurance company for giving advice on the
It's
podcast.
good for him doing that.
Is this true?
There's a mental
No.
health crisis.
I
It's
desperately
fun to
wish.
live in a time where like you're making a joke about it, but it's like, I mean, maybe you just missed that news cycle and that's
Why
all
not?
real now.
It happened.
Absolutely possible.
Yeah,
There was a part, we're going to talk about the RNC later, but there was a part where they talk about the like take any medicine you want bill. So like,
Oh,
this is
right.
the same idea.
Yeah, that was Mike Pence's big thing. It was like we're gonna let kids
See
with
if it
tuberculosis
works.
take
Yeah.
random weeds they find in the woods.
Jesus.
Cool.
Yeah, I like to describe our program as Loveline for millennials. So if you like Loveline, but you don't like misogyny, we're the show for you.
Cool.
All right.
I like
You know,
it.
We're
as
also-
materialists, we know
We're
it's important to not
we're
ask.
funnier than Corolla and Dr. Drew. I'm gonna make that proclaimment.
That's a really high
now.
bar. Oh my
Yeah.
I
goodness.
know. It's like the high jump, and we've been just landing right into the wall.
You mean you're not
we crossed
furious
over.
that you're rich and weird fucking reality TV Dr. Mengele guy?
Yeah.
I never actually heard Adam Carolla give relationship advice. I gotta assume it's like, have you ever bounced on a trampoline?
You're not too far off. Like we started this because we were trying to come up with a podcast idea. And I was working a shitty data entry job at the time, and I was just listening through all the Loveline backlog, and that like the whole concept of that show I thought was fantastic. But it is what you're talking about. Sometimes they get to the advice, it'll be a serious question, and they'll just be making jokes like that, and you're kind of like, dude, like that's fine sometimes, but like if it's a person with like a really serious problem, like you're just bullying somebody who's already feeling like crap and like and you're like 40 and rich. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Hey, your wife has cancer. You ever try getting huge implants?
Bingo. Yeah.
Before you shit on him, you got to tell him that communication is really important in a relationship. Now I'm going to shit.
Yeah. Well, I think I like what you guys are doing because it's a breath of fresh air given that like everything is so kind of just cold and clinically political these days or whatever, or at least like I don't know, in these circles and stuff. And B, I kind of think actually having some sort of space for like discussing basic social shit is kind of lacking on the whole left right now, given that the project is extremely materialist, and also a lot of people are like, if you tell me what to do at all, you're a fascist. The whole thing is full of, rapists and weird people that are like, they're all fucking nerds, so they don't know how to deal with people or anything. It's kind of, no, I think this is kind of wholesome. Like there should be wholesome discussions about how to be better people to each other in something like socialism, don't you think?
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, because so many of the like advice you get, speaking as a former, I guess today would be considered an incel. So much of the advice.
What?
Reformed incel, Anders Lee.
Yeah. Well, before incel was a thing, it was just like, I mean, I think we can carve out an identity that's not resent-based for men.
Haven't gotten laid in a while.
Or ever,
yes. Yeah. You hadn't had sex, but didn't want to kill all women.
Exactly.
Around there.
Right. There's got to be something out there because it's like all the advice you get. I remember this being, 20-year-old kid, like, you'd find a girl, send her 17 text messages an hour. And if she doesn't respond, you're not being aggressive enough. You have to be an asshole was another thing you always get. And it's like, none of this stuff works. And if it does, that's a problem. Like we got to figure out like a better way to, and then movies reinforce this shit with like, you're going to get the girl at the end. Like that's just the universe has dealt you a cosmic injustice if the girl you like doesn't like you back, like.
Right.
Got to be a better way to do this shit for the younger men out there. Because
hey, kids, if the girl isn't into you, just stand outside her apartment night after night after night with a loud guitar. It's romantic. The more days in a row you do, the more romantic it gets. No.
Right, exactly.
When she knows she'll never escape, that's when she starts getting interested.
You have to open carry in front of her apartment to show that you're macho. And that you're
sure you understand the Constitution and the principles that this country was founded on.
Yeah. No, I think it's I think that it's kind of having social discussions like this is probably pretty relevant given that so much of like weird online leftist shit anyway, it seems to be bent on like, we're gonna get the material stuff through and I'm allowed to be the worst person of all time with like zero editing or whatever. It's fucking weird,
right?
I think all this stuff goes hand in hand, so good on you. What's the wildest shit anyone's ever asked you on Radio Free Tote Bag?
What do you in the question box? What do you think, Arthur?
Oh, geez. Didn't we have one of the what is the one with the question box where the like they're talking about friends with benefits and like the guy has like a wife, and like it's just like, so there's questions where it's just like a real tangled mess of interpersonal stuff, and then there's the ones that are like the one where the girl's like, I'm 14 and I want to smash Donovan, something like that.
Oh yeah, I don't think that was a real question. I think people were just trying to jab at me, trying to play a big old jokester.
That was an undercover
That was the
police
CIA.
officer.
Yeah.
Right.
Do not answer that question if they ask that.
No, oh god.
The answer
No,
is
we get. I mean, there's a lot of. And I mean, we seek some of this stuff out too on Reddit to talk about more stuff. But we'll do a section we call the paraphilia pantry, where
if you could drop Materia Primoris from the X-Files right there, that's what we usually do.
Okay.
yeah, that's
Program
the
whenever we mention the
intro.
paraphilia pantry.
And we talk about different fetishes, and like we've talked about people who get off to like popping balloons, and like that's just popping the balloon. That's the whole thing for them.
Yeah.
We got some hate mail actually once because are you guys familiar with DDLG?
What is that?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's DDLG?
Oh, okay, buckle in. This is gonna be a whole thing. It's dominant daddy little girl. It's like a BDSM subset thing where you pretend that the submissive partner is like an actual child. And like you give them like Cheerios and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Oh no.
they fully go into
Weird.
acting that out, and it's like we're cool with things where it's consensual on both sides, and sure, both of those people are onto that. But I'm just like, at my core, it's probably not good to pretend to be a fucking 3-year-old when you're like even in your fantasy or when you're fucking your partner. And so we said that on the show, and then somebody came in and they were pissed that we were going after DDLG.
Yeah.
I had to come back and not apologize, more double down on what I'm saying. But it's like, I'm not telling you you're evil. I'm just saying in my core, I feel like that's not good. I feel like there's some bad side effect to that.
Yeah, that's a really weird one.
I think they should both pretend to be little children. And that way it would be workable.
Yeah,
Well,
even up that power dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, see, I would see zero problem with that whatsoever if they just didn't have sex. Like if I could just go over to a friend's house and just be like, and then just go home
I hate
after that for like an hour, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Just like shit my pants.
Drink some chalky milk, have some chicky nuggies.
Yeah.
In and out. I'm a baby and I'm gone.
It's like a blow and go on Grinder, but I'm gonna go over to your house, we're gonna drink chocolate milk together, and then I'm gonna leave.
Right.
Or just let me pop in, wail like a child for 30 seconds, and then dip.
It's fun because I do have a friend from St. Paul who is like now a very progressive minded guy, but you know, like a lot of dudes, like it takes you a while to get there. And so
At the time he was a dominant daddy.
well, he was disturbed by that because, you know, he's someone who for a while was like kind of transphobic and like overcame that and just like learning more and stuff. But like I was talking to him once and he's like, that's all fine with me. But adult babies is where I draw the fucking line. If you're shitting yourself and someone's calling you you're a baby and you're getting off that way, that's fucked up and you should be mocked. You just need to draw the line somewhere, and this is it. Okay.
Again, like morally, that's totally cool. You can do what you want, but I'm just like that says something. Like a fetish says something about the person who's into it. And like, there's nothing wrong with having the fetish, but like, if you're somebody who, like likes being pissed upon while wearing a diaper and crying like a baby, like that comes from someplace, and I can't imagine that wherever that comes from is particularly good. That can't be healthy. I don't know.
It's true. It's like the brain stem. It's not logical desires.
Right.
It's just you were pissed on one time as a baby, and you're like, "This is my thing now."
Yeah.
I mean, maybe just being a baby is the shit, and you want to relive that.
Gross.
That's, you know.
This
I
sounds
think
like you want to relive that.
in a non-sexual way, yes. Before I had a sexuality, before I even had to worry about having a sexuality, and I could just sit there, shit myself, drink milk.
I want to see if this is a common thing. Sometimes when it gets hot, I feel like a baby and I just want to roll on the ground and be like, nah.
Like when it gets hot, like raising eyebrows
there's a
gets
certain
hot.
temperature where above that I am a baby now.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like when the temperature in the bedroom's rising, you want to roll on the ground.
Yeah.
If the temperature in the bedroom is rising above 95 degrees Fahrenheit, those two worlds can collide.
That's true. That's true.
That's fair, man. I'm a sweaty dude. If it went over 95, and people around me were crying, I'd get it. I understand. Being sweaty sucks.
I'll just write into the show. I'll take this over to Radio Free Tote Bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do. Send it anonymously. We won't connect it to you in any way, except for, the baby's nickname, which is yet to be announced. But yeah.
Right on. Well, yeah. Interesting. Wild stuff. Better than Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla. I'll give you that.
We're gonna put that in the Instagram bio. That's an endorsement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking huge. That gets on the cover. I'll say too, like to folks who want to check us out, at radiofreetotebag.podiant.co is our website. We're like on Spotify or anything. If you look up Radio Free Tote Bag, there's not going to be any other results because it's a stupid ass name that I came up with that I love. But any of those, and then our social media, Instagram at Radio Free Tote Bag. We've got a link to that question box I was talking about. If you want to send questions in, you can do it there. It's anonymous. Good times. We appreciate it.
Do you give away tote bags?
It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
This is our big merch item in progress. We've got a sticker.
You're 100 and something episodes in.
That's a dangerous
We're very
promise.
lazy.
We're incredibly lazy, and we just started the Patreon, so we're finally getting some capital.
Yeah.
At the $5,000 a month level, we will make the tote bags.
Yeah. Let's talk about the RNC. We talked about the DNC a little bit last week, and there's kind of this 1-2 punch that the country was just hit with via the TV box. First thing being the insanity of the DNC. The DNC was like very depressing. It was weird. It had like Adult Swim sketches and bizarre shit like that, yeah. and no one watched it. It was just like a huge fucking.
Well, I read somewhere that the RNC is down from the DNC in terms of ratings, that they're not getting the viewership that the DNC got, and they got nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I
believe that.
That's good to hear, because the RNC, to me, I watched a little bit of it and it seemed less weird. And it also really kind of seemed like they were selling what they sell pretty hard. And it made me think this motherfucker's going to win.
I also felt that way. Did anybody watch and think, oh, good, they won't win?
No,
not a man.
No.
Okay,
that's
great.
a negative.
I was, for the DNC, I was watched and felt incredibly depressed. And then for the RNC, I felt terrified.
There's one like clear takeaway that I had without, because I was watching this stuff is self-harm. And after over an hour of that level of content, your brain starts short-circuiting and making connections it shouldn't have to make. But so you leave like with this weird dream state kind of recollection of it. But my takeaway from the DNC was a group of people who were kind of confused as to what they were selling, and didn't really seem like it didn't seem like a united party. Whereas the Republican Party seemed like a group of people doing a grift that will work on some people.
They're having a blast too. The DNC shit is never fun. The fucking RNC has the Trump boat parade. There's no pasty fucking dudes on boats with Biden flags. Like, woo, we got a whole armada. There's fucking none of that fun shit.
Admiral
Jesus.
Trump.
Yeah.
The Biden Navy has never been at a weaker point.
I mean, the thing is to keep going with this same playbook, which is that you pivot to the middle in the general election. And that like might have worked 20, 25 years ago. But like when they're, when in the 90s, when there was like a monoculture, when everybody would watch this shit and see the same highlights. But the only people watching the DNC are people who are already going to vote for the Democrats.
Right.
And all they need to see is reasons for them to go out and vote for, left-wing policies and ideas and characters. And they didn't give them any of that. They're going from the same old playbook where they're trying to appeal to moderates and people who are like just not watching the DNC. It's just for partisans or like,
which is only, we know, insane because it did for a fact work 25 years ago. And that's what they promised us 4 years ago when they did it just last time. And it was a huge mistake blowout.
Yeah.
And now Trump has been president for 4 years.
Yeah.
So there's this whole watching a train wreck feeling to the whole thing. One interesting analysis you could make of it is the approaches to media of the two parties, because I think the Republicans are actually more savvy on this. The Democrats have the major celebrities. They have your Billie Eilish. They have Elaine. Elaine's there.
Yeah.
Look, we got Elaine. Yeah. But the
Lincoln
Republicans,
Project
who do they have?
The Lincoln Project, by the way, has George. I was on Twitter the other day and I saw Jason Alexander retweeting the Lincoln Project. They got
they need Kramer. Let's get Kramer to get behind
no. The Republicans have Kramer. We all saw that.
Let the Republicans have Kramer. But the Republicans also, who do they have? They have the couple who held guns at protesters 3 weeks ago. They have the boy who was shamed for his hat.
Oh my God.
They have all the viral stars. They're so much more in touch.
A collection of glassy-eyed psychopaths with just groomed media training. I love it. They've really got it all on lock. The messaging is perfect. They're
that Sandman
that's what
kid.
people want now, man.
That Sandman kid was so funny because I guess part of what's going on with him that people are empathetic to if they already agreed with MAGA shit and then they see what happened to that kid get taken down by cancel culture or whatever is that he does come out and he's sort of just like, my face just is stuck like this. I'm not being mean. I just look like
the
this.
Fucking face. He put the hat on and did the smile exactly in the viral. That was.
I have resting entitled right-wing teenager face. It's a condition.
Yeah, I think his face is just stuck like that though. But he also is clearly an asshole. I don't know because the way he explained
his last name is Sandman though. That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was real. I saw it and I was like, Sanderman or something, but no, he's just the straight up Sandman.
Oh yeah, he's
my
Sandman.
parents loved Metallica.
Yeah,
Changed our name.
He'll put.
He's dangerous because he knows how to read a cue card. I think because they'll let some of the celebrities up there who will go off book or try to make a point in, but you just see his eyes moving left to right. Like someone told me to do this, and there's a lot of money behind it. I'm gonna knock it out of the park.
Well-oiled eyeball machine. Sandman eyeball machine.
Yeah, it's interesting because the people that speak at the RNC are this weird smattering of I got canceled on social media or just I randomly found a guy who owns a donut factory and he's angry about taxes or something.
I had bone cancer and Donald Trump called me in the hospital.
Yeah, so some of them they can't act, so they're just and then I was getting into all kind of trouble until Donald Trump came, and it's just this kind of awkwardly spoken thing. Some of them though are just angrily yelling the cue cards. It's weird. It's like you're being berated by the TV.
Oh yeah, Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Donald Trump saved my marriage.
Yeah.
So I took notes the second night. That was the night where I tried the hardest to prepare for this episode before I was like, this is too dangerous to continue living this way. And I'm drinking as I do it. So I have the notes in front of me, but they go more and more off the rails as the night goes on. And I have a very loose roll call of the people they had night two. They have start with a shout out to Jacob Blake and then the Pledge of Allegiance. Strong start. Navajo Nation guy.
Yeah.
Okay. That was an interesting move.
Yeah.
A man who is arrested for bank robberies and then becomes best friends with the cop who arrested him.
Yeah.
A true American success story.
Yeah.
Lobster fishing man.
Lobster fishing man?
Oh,
he
yeah.
talks about how Maine lobsters have never been better under Trump. He's the only one who defends lobsters.
He made
They're
the
so
lobsters
red.
better.
They're so red, folks. They're redder than ever.
They're
He's-
redder. The
that guy,
regulations.
he had the accent real hard. He sounded like Family Guy. And he was like, Mr. Trump. I can't even do it. You're from up there. You're probably
Yeah.
better at this than me.
The lobsters have never been so healthy, so lush.
If you
under
elect
these
the
conditions.
if you elect the Democrats, you can't get there from here.
He doesn't have Boston accent though. He has like Stephen King Maine accent.
Oh, sure. Well,
No,
I,
yeah. Oh, that weird.
Sometimes, Mr. Trump, lobster is better.
You don't want to go up there,
Pet
Mr. Trump.
Cemetery reference. I'm done. Okay.
Malachi, MAGA Kai.
MAGA guy.
My next note, I have Chris Peterson, the cow woman. During a barn accident in 2017, neighbors milked our cows 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Now, with machines, the cows can milk themselves.
What did that mean? She doesn't explain it. I remember I took a note of that too because I was
Oh,
Well,
it-
you know what it means is they're like hooking these things up to nightmare machines that just like keep the cows in a eternal like sucking cycle that they'll never leave. You know, it's like the cows are fully matrixized.
it's
Well-
the milk machine from Mr. Show. That's what they hooked them up to.
I mean, it seems like that's because one of the arguments that the business class is sympathetic to with immigration is like, oh, well, we need, people to produce things like dairy who are undocumented. And this is, a way to get around employing undocumented labor.
They're coming to
Have a machine.
They come over here. They put their brown little hands on my cow's nipples and they steal my hard-earned milk. They suck it right out with
Tell
their
you what.
mouths.
Those undocumented milk machines are jumping right over the border, folks. We got to do something about
Oh
it.
yeah, it's the milk machine guy from Mr. Show, but he's brown. This is a chocolate milk machine. All right, figure it out.
They're milking the
workshop
teat
it.
of our government, and it's past time they milk the teat of our cows.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one I have down here is I own a big and tall clothes shop for big boys.
That's
The
a
rum
core
had
demo.
started hitting by this point. The notes get a little sloppy. Obama and Joe Biden tried to stop us from selling big clothes with the government, but Donald Trump helped us sell the big clothes. Does anybody remember this one?
What the fuck?
He's the biggest man, and he has a suit that fits.
Damn. Is it like tailored? Like, is it like good shit? Do they sell that good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, he owns a suit store. I would expect him to have a good suit. If he has a bad suit on TV, he deserves to go bankrupt for sure.
I mean, Trump is a billionaire and he's the president of the United States, and he still looks like a frumpy piece of shit in every outfit he wears.
but he doesn't own
That's
a suit
true.
store.
I guess that's true.
There's kind of the like conservative type suit too. Like I remember I went to get a suit. I was in Cincinnati in high school for prom or some shit. And I don't know anything about clothes. And so I like asked the lady there for like help, like what looks good. And I don't know anything about suits. And she gave me like in retrospect, like the most boxy, just like formal kind of 80s looking suit. And was like, this is perfect. And I didn't know better. So I got that. But that's what I'm picturing the Republican suit places like. Like this dude loves suits. He knows all about it, but like all his knowledge is wrong. Like they're just selling these big boy, really unfashionable suits. And he's like, I'm the big boy though. I know all about the big boy suits. You can't tell me otherwise.
It's
You see, in 2015, he couldn't make a sale because he kept talking about crime statistics in Chicago. But now that that's legally mandatory, he's one of the most successful businesses in town.
He's crushing it.
Do you remember when Kanye had a big suit? Him and that SoundCloud rapper were making videos
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Little Pump.
Yeah, him and Lil Pump.
Yeah,
they were
nailed
just,
it. I'm fucking hip.
They were just like
I remember-
sidling
That
down
was
a
from
hallway
this
together.
store.
Yeah, they look like strong mad.
I remember when David Byrne had a big suit. That was cool.
Yes.
That was cool.
Me
Burns
too.
suit. It's from The Simpsons.
I
Should have
yearn
David
for the
Byrne at the
80s.
DNC.
Yeah, if Bernie had fucking gotten the nod, That's what I was thinking about. I mean, we talked about this on the last episode. Like they just would have canceled it if it was Bernie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is not my beautiful party.
Yeah. It would have been
You may find yourself in a democratic socialist state.
Yeah.
David Byrne.
Yeah.
Hi,
There you
Contra.
go.
That could be
Thanks,
something.
guys. Thank you for the support.
I don't know where
We
to
did
send
it.
that, but that's something. I'll do a few more of these because they really start getting a little confusing.
1%, their power's going down. See, that doesn't work because he can't sing, and like you can't do an impression of him singing. It just logically doesn't compute.
Yeah.
When he sings, it sounds like he's just like loudly talking.
That is it. Like when they recorded that album, they tried to get him to sing, and he like literally cannot sing.
He's rapping.
Like he can just, yeah. That's
I'd buy that album.
5 cool guys and they're rapping to the beat.
No, you can't sing as Bernie. You have to sing as the singer, but make the song Bernie shit. That's the
Right,
way you organize the elements in a Bernie mashup. So
Right.
it has to be David Byrne going like, no, that's not it. This is harder than I thought it would be. Psycho killer 1%.
Psycho killer, the 1%.
You know,
Yeah. Put the sugar on my tongue. I have no idea. None of this stuff works. Talking heads, get it together.
Oh wait. Billionaires.
Nice.
Powerful.
It leaves a message.
There's another thing that happened at the RNC that I thought was kind of interesting, which is, okay, there's something going on. Maybe I don't pay enough attention to Trump shit because it's just like, what are you going to do about it? But like last week, he had a brother that died, and I don't think I'm the only person that was like, wait, he had a, like, who's this brother? Like, we've never been talking about this person.
Yeah, no
He drank himself
recollection.
to death.
And then
That's why he
there's,
doesn't
that was
drink.
his older brother. This was a different brother.
yeah, this guy had a heart attack.
He has more dead brothers?
That's what I'm saying. There's just
Now he does.
Trumps everywhere. And this whole thing was introduced by like a daughter that we never talk about. They're just bringing out more weird blonde
There's
people.
just more Trumps.
Bring out
Season
the
2
Trumps.
Did you know that brother he had that died was on the board of directors of ZeniMax, the company that owns Bethesda?
No.
What?
Fuck.
Bethesda, the city?
The game developers.
Oh, okay.
Bethesda
They
is
make solitaire, Anders.
a game developer that made a really popular game called Fallout, where you're in like a
Oh, yes, I've heard of
post-apocalyptic
this.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
like,
Donald Trump made a world called Fallout
damn.
with his Cheeto hands.
Nice.
The company behind Fallout and Elder Scrolls says President Trump's brother was a, quote, constant source of guidance and counsel for the company for more than 2 decades.
He actually played, what's the fucking DJ's name? Something Wolf. Hello.
Freedom!
Yeah. Hello, Wanderer.
Keep an eye out for the Central Park 5.
Yeah.
They're thugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came up with the idea for rad roaches. I have no idea like what fucking pitches this dude was doing for Fallout.
No,
does
I mean
make-
this is more hot water for the president because now he's going to be connected to the scandal that was Fallout 76,
Uh-huh.
biggest crime committed on this country in decades.
I did not
Yeah, they
play it.
ran out of
Decades.
ideas. They ran out of ideas. It's sad to see.
I bought Fallout
You guys
4,
remember-
and it was like just the same as Fallout 3. It was really boring. Just-
Well, they hit a stride with Fallout 3, and then logically, if you're a big corporation like that, you just want to like keep like how many modern warfares have there been?
yeah, or like how all the Batman games after a while are just the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just once you figure out a genre, there's not like a lot you can do with it, and there's not a lot of experimentation you're gonna get at a company that big.
Bigger companies, you got to go through all these managers to get. Say you have a great idea, but you're an employee on the ground. say you're in their offices, say you have the technology to let Batman jerk off in a game in like the most realistic way, but you got 3 fucking tiers of managers and they're like, no, man, we can't have Batman jerk off. He can only shoot webs like he usually does. And it's just
Fucking
You
stuck
gotta
in the red
rotate the
tape, man.
sticks.
Yeah.
Rotate the sticks to come.
These Mexicans came over here and they jerked off my Batman, but now he jerks himself off. He is a machine.
Do you guys remember the Planned Parenthood woman?
Yeah.
This was a throwback.
Yeah, I saw a highlight from her.
Lucille Richards?
No. This is like someone who left Planned Parenthood.
She
okay.
claims she was a doctor there, but that the Barack Obama gave her abortion quotas.
Really?
And she had to kill that many babies a day, which really made her question things. And then the one part I wrote down is she decided to leave when she was doing an abortion and she was helping the doctor. And the doctor said, "Found the baby. Beam me up, Scotty."
Yeah. She's like crying. She's like a tearful moment where she's like, and then he said, "Beam me up, Scotty."
So these were white Christian babies, I take it?
Of course.
They actually all are.
Yeah.
All the babies?
No matter what kind it is in there, they're all white Christian babies.
It's so wild. Like you can intuit what the policy was that, so there's these states where they have like one abortion clinic and they've made it, so that you basically can't get an abortion in that state because they're going to schedule one abortion per day at the one clinic, 200 miles from everywhere else.
They have a gigantic toll booth outside that clinic that charges $1,000 to get through.
And it's like the fucking it's like the Beijing traffic jam that like lasted a week and a half on a permanent basis. So there was probably some kind of policy that was like, you have to perform a reasonable number of these procedures per day so that people can actually get the healthcare that they need. And then she makes that it's a baby killing quota.
It's a baby killing. They tell us they don't want it, and we kill them anyway.
Yeah.
She closed with, "I know what abortion smells like," and then ended the video.
Oh,
Yeah, like The Rock.
Can I get that in a
know what
scented
the Rock
candle?
is aborting.
They should do that as part of Planned Parenthood's like membership pack. You get a abortion scented candle.
You get the candle.
Well, she was
a complimentary line of products.
She was trying to do this whole thing where she's like, I was an employee. I was actually employee of the year or whatever. And I've been, right there in the ground floor and I, reformed and seen the light or whatever. And like all this stuff looks so stupid to us. Like we know what's going on. We know exactly what sort of like story they're telling and what details they're fudging and stuff. But like you watch this shit and like, just with the TV on in the background while you're like gaming or something, and you kind of get a feel for like how this shit sells itself to the people that do like it. This is where I started to feel like maybe they're gonna win, because like they told their story pretty well. It's a dumb story and it's a lie, but I could see how people that believe all this dumb shit,
and people fucking buy it and shit too. Like
they remember,
especially if you just say I worked at Planned Parenthood, you can say any crazy shit about babies and they're gonna buy it. You can be like, I worked at Planned Parenthood and we shut off the security cameras in the uterus, and when it came back on, the fetus had hanged itself with its sheets, which are supposed to be paper thin. How the fuck did that happen? And people be like, well, she's on my side and she says she worked at Planned Parenthood, so holy shit, fucking fetus didn't kill himself, man.
It's this simple. They remember the fundamentals. They're going back to there's abortion kill quotas. Fidel Castro stole my parents' slaves and I had to move here. Like that's a guy who's doing the presentation. And so they get the normal base they already are guaranteed to have, but they're also going the other way where Mike Pence comes on and he says Donald Trump is actually the peace candidate. And there's like two angles of attack there where they're just allowed to have the left side of the discussion because the Democrats are too busy pitching to Republicans now. Like if you watch the DNC, it's all about opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think the part, like, people should watch this because I think especially like liberals like to imagine that like the entire RNC is just a bunch of people that are just going like, I'm a fucking racist or whatever. But they're like appealing to actual like arguments, like material arguments and stuff. This is like, you should know your enemy. This is like important to understand. Why do they have so many fucking Cubans that are appealing to this Gusano thing or whatever? Or why is so much of this based on like small business and shit like that? Why is there this weird coalition with, you know, pro-life people? It doesn't really connect to any of it. Like, they're gonna fucking win on this stuff, and then everyone's gonna look at this again and just go, it's because they're racist, man. And it's like, well, yeah, but that looks like something. Racism looks like all this policy and ideology they're talking about. It's not just like a fucking virus that people get where they're, oh, you're a bad person now or whatever, you know? It's a grift.
Yeah. The DNC is clearly incapable of learning either from their opponent or from defeats that they've been dealt. Like, they just consistently run the same playbook of, we're going to run to the center. We're going to try to peel off the 7 undecided voters in the country, and that'll get us the win.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's, I mean, the way they fuse those things together, the material argument and the racism thing, is they say, like, yeah, it's immigrants taking your jobs. And the opposition to that should be like, that's a bullshit argument. That's a way of mystifying it. And
we'll give everyone a job. That could be a thing you'll say. Instead, it's like, I guess they are, and we won't help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do, like, they are outflanking the Democrats on, like the war shit. I mean, you had like Rand Paul come out, and you have Mike Pence talking about this, and it's like, it's kind of, I mean, are they wrong? You know, I mean, fuck. Like, he was able to sell that thing as, I'm not as big of a war hawk or whatever as the rest of these people.
We picked the guy that allows Rand Paul to come out and say Joe Biden passed an oppressive crime bill in the 90s. Like, Republicans shouldn't have that talking point.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so avoidable.
Right. And that's and a lot of that is to depress the Democratic base from turning out. And that's what Trump did in 2016, was just remind Bernie voters and people who just didn't vote at all in the primaries, who may have voted for Obama in the past, that Clinton called young black men super predators and stuff like that. The Iraq War, he would just drive that home. Maybe it changed some Republican minds and got people to vote for him, but I think the thrust of that was to just depress Democratic turnout, which the Biden campaign is not focused at all on beefing up.
Do you think so? I think it's to get a different kind of Republican, because I think Republicans are sold on, you know, the classic Republican talking points of, you know, hey, racism and getting a job and defending a store. And that's just like in the back of your brain. But then psychologically, when you're talking to people, you don't want to be the pro-war guy. You can be pushed into that corner, but there are Republicans who are like, look, I want a job and I don't want to go to war with Russia, and the Democrats do.
Yeah. Well, that's part of it too.
And
yeah.
that's how he won the Republican primary, because the other Republicans don't go for that voter. Right.
And it's just, it hasn't clicked with just a lot of politicians from both parties that war is not that popular. The troops are to Republicans, but when you are just, you know, like loosey-goosey with sending people on peacekeeping missions or regime change wars and stuff like that, people don't like that in America. You know, it's not a popular position.
Yeah.
Troop culture is complex that way.
It's true. It worked for Bush because we were riding off of this, like, this very easy W in the Gulf War, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have that in our memory. And now he, you know, so he runs on this real hawkish thing and, you know, gets reelected off of the surge. And then we stall out, and we've been stuck in Afghanistan for how many years is it now? I think that war can vote now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 19.
Yeah.
You're not
Going on
weird.
19.
You're not weird if you say you want to fuck the Afghanistan occupation.
It's not weird anymore.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in your 30s and you want to fuck a war that's not even 20 yet, you should maybe consider what the power dynamic in that relationship.
Absolutely.
I don't think that
it's barely legal.
I still think it's a little weird for the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War to be dating now. It's not something I'm comfortable with.
Because they're related.
Legal doesn't mean moral, man. Some things that are legal, they're still not right, man.
That's true.
Yeah. So off the back of that, it's really hard to be hawkish. So they've absolutely made this pivot towards we're the peace party, which is just insane. It shows that people have absolutely no long-term memory when it comes to this kind of thing.
Well, And it's also like pick your poison, because like Trump is not a peacenik at all. Like he dropped the mother of all bombs and is almost causing a war with Iran, and like he's insane. But and Clinton would have done that stuff, but she probably would have doubled down in Syria or like done some other shit. Like it's just the different version of imperialism.
Mm-hmm. Two wings, one bird.
And the advantage they have is they can say, clearly look at Donald Trump. He's the peace candidate. He goes against the secret reptiles, run the government, and Trump is fighting them. But at the same time, 2 sentences later, fucking Mike Pence is like, we dropped the mother of all bombs. We have the boldest military we've ever had. You get to be like, we love bombs and we love not dropping them. We do it all.
Yeah.
You gotta be part of the team.
We support bombs families. We gave a position to the mother of the bombs.
Yeah.
We support working women.
Yeah. The bomb is a proud mother. And we
This
would
is
never.
not my beautiful bomb.
You may
Anders,
find
you
yourself in an intractable conflict in the Middle East.
There you go.
Bum, 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 bum. Andrews, you watched the whole first night, you said? What was
Most
the
of it.
big standouts of that night?
Guilfoyle,
Yeah.
which was Gavin Newsom's ex-wife, apparently just straight up screaming in a way that was totally terrifying.
There's this guy on who made like a short video and it went viral on Twitter. It's some black dude. He just goes, "This is called the Guilfoyle Challenge." And he runs out into the street and just yells the same thing she yelled into like traffic. It's pretty funny.
Did he get arrested?
No, it's just a goofy video.
Yeah, that was
Why
pretty
it's
nuts.
goofy, though, is because it's a classic performing mistake. If there is no audience, you can't
Right.
you can't take it up that high.
Yeah, it's
You
like
gotta
when
meet the audience at their Zoom level.
she
Right.
did like the first wrestling events after COVID. She kind of looked like that, where they didn't really know how to like can you just yell at an empty auditorium like that? She did arms like Goku, like she was like about to do Saiyan shit. It was
Yeah.
weird.
Powering up the spirit bomb.
Yeah, the mother of all spirit
That's
bombs.
hype. I support
Yes.
that.
Nice.
I may not support the substance, but the appearance is flawless.
This is
Okay,
what-
so Guilfoyle.
Donald Trump Jr. was definitely on coke for
Absolutely.
his speech.
Just that he had that Coke smugness.
Yeah, he was like basically crying. Maybe he was just overcome with emotion, but I think it was probably cocaine.
Yeah,
That was fun to watch.
They let off with Charlie Kirk,
Oh right, I think I missed that one.
who
What is
implied that Joe Biden will eliminate everything you love.
Apparently, they had a speaker the second night who was canceled from appearing on the show because he boosted a QAnon conspiracy that the Jews are enslaving the world.
whoa.
Yeah. So her name's Mary Ann Mendoza, and she was a member of the Trump Campaign Advisory Board, and she has 40,000 followers. And she did one of those things where she shares a thread. It was like thread, finger, hand, and then it's just like Jews scheming for 40 links.
So they took her section off the show.
Yeah, I guess she just was doing Rothschild's conspiracy, Elder Protocols of Zion shit.
Wow.
I mean, that's
She's
a
not-
wing
she's
of
not-
the.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead. Well, she's not doing media boosting correctly. She should have made the appearance and then dropped the conspiracy, because then you boost your reach off of the
Right.
appearance.
Yeah. Well, that wing of the Republican Party is in some turmoil. I guess if there's one weakness they have, it's that, because Ricky Spencer, I think this past week, announced that he was voting for
Ricky
Biden,
Spencer.
which I don't know if that was a troll or not.
Ricky?
I think it.
Sorry, that was from the
That's
Herman
not
Cain bad lip reading video. It's been stuck in my head for 5 years. There's a part where he looks at his phone and he goes, "Ricky?"
R.I.P. to a real one.
Yeah.
I miss Herman Cain.
I'm
But what do you
almost
guys think?
surprised
Was-
that sharing this shit gets you kicked off at this point, because it's the subtext said out loud, but that just seems like the theme of the event now.
They're all
Sure.
fucking Q people. Yeah, and they're all like super fucking open about that. Even like normie old Republican middle-aged folks are cute people. See, I'm
Right.
surprised they would have like any negative blowback. You're just
You
doing
can't-
the thing.
You can't say the J word though in the Q stuff. You can imply that the
That's
Jews
true.
want
You gotta
everything
replace
explicitly
replace the word with a small image of a Pepe, and the Pepe is touching its fingers together schemingly.
Dude, conservatives are like, they are a land of contrasts. They are like these interesting, conflicting. They're like contradictory though in this really interesting way where they're like, their racism is, you know, they want to say the entire ideology, but they understand that if you say the Jews at the end of it, then that's bad and that's racist, right? So it's taking all of the actual signifiers and stuff off of it, and you know, so just like what do you call it? Like just like cleaning it up or whatever and polishing it to where it's like, oh, I'm saying it without actually saying it, and at the same time, it's like. Same thing with like the military shit where it's we love the military, we never want to have to use them. We love guns, but you know, like in a perfect world, you don't use them. But then when you do use them, it was justified or whatever. It's I think that you just, what you have is just like the weird skeleton of like the racism that this country was built on that used to be overt and deliberate and was like, hello, I'm racist. Like I'm for, you know, I'm against slavery and shit like, or for slavery and stuff like that. And, you know, the process of becoming what the fuck Trump was able to sell is just like this weird mind like judo where you turn it around, you're like, actually the Democrats are the real racists because they're afraid to admit that the system works, and look, it worked for a black guy or whatever, look, this woman likes us or whatever. It's fucking weird.
And that's the thing, is they know how to sell both kinds. They know how to sell the big suits, but also the tall suits.
I just almost did this exact same thing, but there was a guy who spoke on the second night, I forgot, or no, I think it was a different night, who he's from like Connecticut or something. I want to say he's from like Concord, or and he said, my home state is home to historically so many abolitionists. Like he says the word and then so that's what the
That
fuck they're
classic
doing.
mix up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're fucking doing, you know. All right, well, are there any other weird notes from the RNC before we get out of here?
Matt Gaetz has the most punchable face I've ever encountered.
True.
Like, I thought I wanted to hit Charlie Kirk with a brick.
More than Sandman?
I think maybe even more than Sandman. It's like you can tell what Sandman will become in Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's got a future in politics for sure, and he will become this man who calls people woke-topians.
Dude, I was such a big theme of this whole thing is this like cancel culture bullshit, and they brought it out, the Sandman kid, to go, look, you know, he got canceled by the PC police and all this stuff. And then also this fucking Kenosha shooter kid, if you look up like his social media, he's obsessed with like people being PC. That's like why this fucking militia or whatever, fucking militia, it's not even a real militia, this like group of assholes, you know, made this Facebook post, and there's like this thing where they wrote it in all caps with an exclamation point that's like, we're gonna go out and defend, you know, against what this PC fucking liberals have done to this country with their PC culture or whatever. It's crazy, man.
Right.
It's a boogeyman. It's
They
made
have
up
a
bullshit.
rallying cry, man.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you just have to know that they have independent groups of people with guns at these, and we don't. And this is how this happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to get like my head around the imaginary persecution that's going on there, because it seems to be fueling all of the worst shit in America right now. And it's people that are like, you're fucking fine. No one's coming for you. You're just poor because of, you know, Trump and shit like that. But scapegoatism.
It's an interesting development compared to like the Crusades or something, you know, like when you had to sell a war in 1100 AD, and you had to connect each individual soldier to a righteous path of saving the West from the Muslims. You know, you're defending Christendom, and that would go and energize people who had no reason to go and fight in this war. But now, essentially, religion doesn't mobilize people like that. culture doesn't mobilize people like that. All you could do is just vaguely threaten that people are going to get yelled at, and they will show up with an assault rifle.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that thing has honestly taken the place of just saying like the Jews or whatever. It's like, it's like this thing that's sort of the scapegoat that's being used here to make people into reactionary fucking psycho assholes is this vague, just like wokeness or whatever. Like the way liberals treat racism like it's an epidemic of the mind that's just like a bug you can catch is the same way that these people treat like, wokeness or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about
Pussy
it.
hats were
Wokeness.
invented by the Muslims during the Crusade.
Yeah. Speaking of hats,
That hot fact.
They canceled Christ.
I just remembered my favorite thing. That's basically what the fucking story is, right? I just remembered my favorite thing because you brought up hats. There was there's a black guy in one of these videos that's wearing a MAGA bucket hat like Anders.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. It's never really
Anders, I defend your hat.
Thank you. I'll put it on.
Uncritical support for.
I think
Anders'
it's
hat.
cool. Boys know bucket hats. Bucket hats rule.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Well, the podcast has got to end now.
Ooh.
There we go.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh, he's spinning around.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Oh, my
Oh.
sweet Jesus.
WAS hat. That is so weird. All right. Well, I can see why your girlfriend hid it from you.
Yeah. The DNC should have just been Anders putting on the hat and spinning it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Football teams. The Green Bay Packers are going to be the Green Bay Fudge Packers soon. Like,
Yeah.
like
How
that.
didn't that come up?
I don't know. I think people dig this hat and they like the new gear and the new uniforms. It's just undeniably cool.
Yeah. Good branding.
Radio Free Tote Bag, do you have a way to resolve the relationship crisis that Anders is going through via him, his girlfriend, and his hat his girlfriend trying to keep the hat away from him?
You gotta, if you want to get into a polycule like this, you gotta have everything on the table. You can't have your girlfriend at odds with your hat friend. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe you set them up on a little activity. You got like a candlelight dinner.
My girlfriend in the hat?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the hat.
That might not end well.
You cook for them too. You're like, you know what? I support both of you. I'm here for both of the partners in this relationship. Here's some pork chops. And then fucking boom, your relationship is fixed.
Okay.
That's the RFTB magic right there.
That's good advice.
Has Naomi ever worn the hat?
There you go.
No.
Maybe
she's
get them in
not.
a room together?
That would be difficult, but she's been in the same room as it, and she's put it in a bag in her closet and hid it from me, but she's not worn it. So maybe that'll change everything.
The hat doesn't go away if you
it'll
hide
be
it.
like putting on the glasses from They Live.
Yeah. It's a bucket hat you put on. I like it.
Hey, Naomi, can you try putting on the hat?
Yeah.
Are we going to see this?
Yeah.
History is about to be made.
Naomi, please, it's
There
an
we go.
audio format. You have to put on the hat.
Oh
Yes!
my God.
It looks really good on you.
Yes.
He's wearing the hat.
Let the healing begin.
You look like Carmen Sandiego.
You look like Carmen Sandiego, he says.
It's better on me. Though.
Actually,
It does
yeah.
look better on her.
Oh, yes.
Even better than Carmen Sandiego.
All
Well,
right.
that's a podcast, everyone.
All right, I think we resolved a huge problem in our lives, and now
Glad we
we
can
will
help.
be able to work better now that we are a functioning, 7-person plus a hat polycule that is also a podcast that is also
Yes.
socialism or whatever.
We're here to
Funny,
fix
Naomi
these
put on the
things.
bucket hat.
We're repairing this hat.
Yeah.
These hats, we're repairing them. We're fixing the hat dynamics, the hat human relationships. And if you, listener, can believe how quickly we handled that situation, imagine how quickly we can handle your relationship questions. If you send them to us at Instagram.com/Radio Free Tote Bag, you click the link in the bio, you tell us about your hat questions, we fix them.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, like after we abolish the police, you're basically social workers. So we'll call you when, you know, crime happens and you come and you do that, like the hat thing, and then we don't
That
need
sounds
police
good.
anymore. Yeah.
I'm pretty tough too. I could, stop some crime.
Yeah. All right.
I'm incredibly doughy. I have no confidence in my ability to stop crime.
I will throw Arthur at the attacker. They won't know what hit him.
Yeah.
But I will, because it'll be Arthur.
Look at that team of acrobats where the one guy throws the other guy. I like it. All right, well, let's do some plugs and get the fuck out of here. Does anybody have anything else? You guys did just plug your podcast, but if you have anything else, go ahead.
Can I do it again? Can
Sure.
I do the same plug again?
Oh yeah, do it like
folks,
a carny.
if you got a question, if you appreciated how we solved that hat problem, you can hit our Instagram at Instagram.com/Radio Free Tote Bag. You click that link in bio, send us your hat questions.
All right.
Cool.
Anybody else around here?
At Andersley here on Twitter, Dersley1, DERSLEE number 1 on Instagram.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on, guys.
thanks for
I
coming.
like the mighty phoenix. I have risen from my ashes because I woke up 30 minutes before this. I'm feeling great. I'm ready to face the day now. You know
I
what?
like
And that's thanks to Pod Damn.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'd like to plug Anders' hat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just think he should wear it more.
I agree.
And I think
go-
that's possible now.
I'd also like to plug Andrew's hat. I also like to plug my other podcast, Why You Mad, and our Patreon and our merch and all that stuff. If you enjoy the show, we make bonus episodes every week. There's tons of shit back there. We've been losing patrons, so I'm going to plug it like a carny over and over and over again because I don't know. I think a bunch of people thought my porn was going to be back there, and maybe they got disappointed. There are also, I don't know, people that are angry at us for the. Sometimes you're mad because we do too many jokes. Sometimes there's not enough. There's no way to fix it. We're a comedy politics podcast, and you fans all hate each other. Pod damn, land of contrasts. Deal with it. I don't know why I'm berating my own listeners at the end of this episode. It's
a sex thing.
It's a sex thing. I'll call into Radio Free Tote Bag and I'll work it out there. So it's not your business. I love you.
Fantastic.
I'm ending every podcast now by saying I love you, and people are unsubscribing from the show. So maybe I shouldn't do that.
You should blow him a kiss like I do at the end. That'll bring him around.
I like that.
Ooh.
Okay. Actually, I hate that. All right. Well, that's podcast. It's finished.
It's finished.